Charlemagne, we live. We are live, everybody. Turn the volume up. Turn the music off. Turn the podcast off, even if it's my podcast. Put everything on pause. If you got a call, tell them you calling back. And you might actually do it. My name is Dre All Day. We are live here Friday evening. Shout out to everybody who is watching this on replay. If you're watching this right now, tell me your name and location. Instagram says it is telling your followers that you have started a live video. So I'm giving y'all a few seconds, a minute or so to come in. Whoever's going to come in, then we get into this material. I don't care who's in here. If nobody's in here, we getting into this material for Friday night. So shout out to everybody who's coming in. Tell me your name and location. Name and location as you come into the stream. This is Dre All Day, checking in live from beautiful South Florida, from beautiful Miami. It's kind of cool here tonight. It's going into the 60s tonight, but that'll be all right. We'll be all right. As y'all come in, tell me your name, location. We're going to give it about 30 seconds, then we're going to get right into the material. Y'all can watch this on replay. Y'all can watch this when I put up on YouTube in a couple weeks, whatever it's going to be. Y'all come in, tell me names and locations, name and location as you come in. We're going to give about 30 more seconds. I'm going to introduce myself, then we're going to get into this. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, former 9-year professional athlete. Basketball was a sport, played overseas for 9 years, traveling through 8 countries now. Mostly from Toronto. What's good? I teach this philosophy called Work on Your Game, which is taking the pro athlete mindset and teaching how it applies to business, sports, and life. Carlos from Spain, what's going on? Fort Wayne, Indiana, 260, what's up? Trainer TG. I'm now author of 25 books. I'm a professional speaker, coach, consultant. What else do I do? I got a daily podcast called Work on Your Game. I got a bunch of videos online, about 7,000 of them to be exact. A bunch of articles online, about another 6,000 of those. I already told you about the books. I got a whole bunch of courses, programs, trainings that I do, etc., etc. Jerry from the Slurpee Swamp. What's going on, Jerry? Let's get into what we're talking about tonight. Tonight I'm speaking specifically to the business people, the influencers, the coaches, the consultants, the speakers, the trainers, any of you who wants to get into the info products industry, whether you're going to be a coach, trainer, speaker, you want to create content, you want to coach people one-on-one, you want to write books, you want to blog about your experiences, make a podcast where you're sharing information that's out of your head and getting it to other people. Dre, also, what's going on? The thing is, this is what y'all got to understand about getting into such an industry. If you want to expand your reach as far as possible, there's several skills that you got to develop. And I ain't going to talk about all of them because that would take too long. I am going to talk about them in the group coaching offer, and I'm going to probably put up within the next week. That group coaching offer will be up. I might have it up by the weekend, but we'll see. I'm going to work on putting everything together very soon. But one of the skills that you got to develop is you got to learn how to translate your experience. That's what we're talking about here. Translating your experience. That means taking what you experience in this area over here of your life and translating it to a bunch of people who never experienced that thing. They never lived the life that you lived, but they're able to understand how what you learned over here can apply to what they're doing over there because you were able to build the bridge from your experience to their experience. And it's not always as simple as it sounds. So for example, if somebody was like a football player, I was just online today, and I seen some dude who used to play football somewhere. I don't really know who he is, but he played football apparently. After he got out of football, I don't know if he played in pros. I'm not sure I heard of him in the pros, but then he went on and became like a speaker. And he goes and speaks at conferences, and I don't know what he talks about. But somebody like myself, what I do as a speaker, I take my experiences from on the court as a basketball player and things I've experienced in the business world and stories that I pick up, maybe from other people. It might be an athlete, might be a business person, whatever it is. I often like to use sports because it's off the beaten path from what people who are at a business conference or at some company event, what they're used to. I take those experiences and I'm able to translate how that experience that happened in a football game or a boxing match or a basketball game, how that translates to somebody working in an office building or somebody who works at the AT&T store, or somebody who builds web pages, or somebody who's a graphic designer, or someone who's a door-to-door salesperson, or they do B2B sales through email, or anybody who does things like that. You got to be able to build that bridge. And understand that building that bridge is going to take a little bit of thought on your part, and it's going to require you to come up with some proprietary concepts that connect what you did over here to what they're doing over there. And that right there, those proprietary concepts, those are what become your book. Those are what become your brand. Those are what become the things that make people remember you for talking about what you talk about, instead of you just being another guy who came across the stage, another guy doing a live stream, another guy with some motivational caption on your IG post. What do you have that is proprietary that if somebody says it, they got to come back to you? It has to come back to you. If someone Googled that thing, it will come back to you. I'll give you a couple examples. If any of you read my book, Work on Your Game, first of all, Work on Your Game itself is one of those proprietary concepts. I took this saying that I said in a video like 12 years ago, and I turned that into, okay, look, if you want to get better at what you're doing, you need to stop wasting your time on the internet, on social media, watching YouTube videos, playing video games, standing on the corner. You need to work on your fucking game, and you'll get better at, I was talking about basketball, but work on your game applies to anything. You could be a banker, business person, a teacher, a student. It applies to everything. So that's the first proprietary thing I came up with was work on your game. Then I created little sub brands within it. You got the Mirror of Motivation, and the Mirror of Motivation you're going to hear about the third day, which is my concept of discipline, and that book is coming out soon. You got the Super You, which is about confidence. You got all of these things that I've talked about. Too much confidence is not your problem, starting from nothing. And these are the things that I've talked about in some of my TED Talks and things I've talked about in some of my books, and concepts that I've branded that bridge the gap from the experience that I had on the court as an athlete or anything I experienced in my life to somebody who didn't live my life, hasn't been in my shoes, hasn't been to places that I've been. So what you need to think about, those of you who plan on becoming experts at what you do, or you want to share and sell your knowledge and sell your experience, is what have I been through? And everybody has a story, right? Every week I get a message from somebody who's telling me something along the lines of, yo, I have a story, I have these things I've been through, these things that I've experienced, and I want to share them with the world. I want to be a speaker. First thing a lot of people want to do is write a book. Like people are like, I want to write a book. Dre, how do I write a book? What are the steps I need to take? What do I need to do? First thing you need to do is come up with a concept that somebody wants to read. Now, that's the most important thing. It's not just writing the book, because if you just write a book and you don't do anything else, what value does it provide to the world? It doesn't provide any value to you either. I mean, it might feel good ego-wise for you to just be able to say that you wrote a book and you're officially an author because you wrote a book. But the purpose of writing a book is you want to get it into people's hands. You want people to read it. You want to sell the book, right? So to sell the book, you need an audience. And to get an audience, you got to be saying something that everybody else is not already saying. Even though you may have a similar experience to what a lot of other people have, what are you bringing to the table that they can't bring to the table? Listen, I'm not the only black dude who plays sports, or get a black dude who gets on social media and talks about some things that are mindset based, or some people call motivational. But the thing is, I got some proprietary concepts that nobody else can talk about. Nobody else can share because they don't have my background, they don't have my way of explaining it, and they don't have my style. But if I'm just giving some, you got to believe in yourself, and you got to keep going when things get tough, and you got to show up every day and do the work. Listen, anybody can say those things, but what's the concept behind it that makes it make sense? And a lot of people don't have a concept behind it that makes it make sense. And if you don't have that, then you have nothing proprietary. And at that point, you're not going to be able to sell yourself or sell your concepts. So all you business people, and I'm going to take questions right now. If anybody got a question, go ahead and post it. But my group coaching offer is going to be coming very soon. The first one I'm going to do is going to be for the business audience. And I'm going to do a couple others, maybe for some other areas, maybe underneath the umbrella. But I think all of them are going to be business based, because I know I got a lot of entrepreneurs in my audiences, people who want to build their brands and do some things similar to what I did, even though they may not be athletes. So if you got a question, go ahead and post it. And that's going to be that. If you do not have this book right here, The Mirror of Motivation, The Self-Guide to Self-Discipline, you get this book for free by going to mirrorofmotivation.com, mirrorofmotivation.com. There it is. That's where you can get this book shipped to you worldwide. Doesn't matter where you live. I'm shipping this book free. All you got to do is take care of the shipping. Give me your address, and we're shipping this book out to you. That's The Mirror of Motivation, The Self-Guide to Self-Discipline. So the point here today, again, is you got to come up with some ways of branding yourself, branding your concepts, branding your content, so that it separates you from anybody else who might have a similar experience or is trying to talk about a similar thing, or somebody who heard you talking about it. Now they want to talk about it. What do you have that they can't copy? What do you have that they can't really use because you own it, and you owned it by putting your own stamp on it, putting your own experience on it, putting it in a way that other people can't put it out the same way that you put it out. So that's the challenge that I'm going to give to you, any of you who's a business person. Maybe not all of you even fall into that category, whoever's watching this on replay, YouTube, whatever. Frank Ball is life. I appreciate it. That's what's up. Choppa says, let's do a lesson for free. I just did one. You got it. All right. I don't see any comments coming through. So look, we wrapping this up. It's kind of cool here on a Friday night. And it's Friday. So everybody have a great weekend. I'm going to come on another live stream this weekend. I don't know what time, but I am going to come on another one. So stay tuned. Work on your game. Dre all day. We out.